What if I told you that Jesus' first miracle wasn't performed in a grand temple, or in front of powerful kings, or even in the middle of a life or death crisis? What if I told you it happened at a party, specifically at a wedding, and that single choice, where he decided to reveal his power for the first time, tells us something truly profound about God that most people completely miss? Let's set the scene. We're in a small, unassuming village called Cana. The air is filled with joy. Families and friends are gathered. There's music playing. People are laughing. And two people are starting their new life together. It's a beautiful, ordinary, happy day. But then a problem arises. It starts as a whisper, a quiet panic that spreads through the hosts. The wine has run out. Now, in our culture today, that might be a minor inconvenience. But back then, in that honor-shame society, running out of wine wasn't just a party foul. It was a social disaster. It was a source of deep public embarrassment for the families, a stain that could follow them for years. In the middle of this escalating, quiet crisis, Mary, Jesus' mother, turns to him. It's a fascinating moment. Jesus hadn't performed any public miracles yet. There were no grand signs, no flashy displays of power to suggest he could solve this. He was, to most people there, just the carpenter's son. But Mary's faith was simple and absolute. She doesn't tell Jesus what to do. She simply turns to the servants and says, "Do whatever he tells you." That's a powerful lesson in faith, right there, trusting him before you even know the plan. Nearby stood 6 large stone water jars. These weren't for drinking. They were used for ceremonial washing, for purification rituals under Jewish law. They represented tradition, rules, and the old way of doing things. Jesus gives a simple command: fill the jars with water. No lightning from the sky, no booming voice, no dramatic speech. Just a quiet instruction and the servant's simple obedience. They fill the jars to the brim. Then Jesus tells them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." Imagine the servants' hesitation. They knew they had just filled those jars with plain water. But they obey. And when the master of the feast tastes it, his eyes widen. He calls the bridegroom over, not to complain, but to praise him. He says everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. It was the best wine. He turned ordinary water into extraordinary celebration. Why this specific setting for his first miracle? Because Jesus didn't just come for the sacred spaces, for the synagogues and temples. He came to step into the very fabric of our ordinary lives. He came for our relationships, our celebrations, our moments of joy, and even our moments of social embarrassment. His first miracle wasn't about saving someone from a physical storm, but about restoring joy and averting shame. And here's the detail that is so often overlooked, the part that holds the deepest meaning. The miracle didn't just happen in any old containers. It happened in the jars used for ritual cleansing. These symbols of old religious routine, of trying to make oneself clean through works and tradition, he was showing that he was here to transform the old into the new. He was turning the water of religious duty into the wine of a joyous, personal relationship with God. Maybe your life feels ordinary right now. Maybe you feel like you're just going through the motions, and you wonder if God even notices the small details, the quiet anxieties, or the hidden hopes you have. But remember the wedding at Cana? If Jesus can show up at a simple village party, turn water into wine, if he can transform vessels of ritual into vessels of joy, then he can absolutely step into the quiet, ordinary moments of your life and do something extraordinary. He can transform your emptiness into abundance, your duty into delight, and your water into wine. Sometimes God's greatest miracles don't start in a crisis. They begin in the most ordinary places, just waiting for a simple act of faith. And thanks so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content like this. See you next time.